The World Health Organization recognizes traditional birth attendants as community members who are respected, that assist mothers during childbirth and educate them on traditional reproductive health education. And also, we are carrying out this research to know the preferable method in which you can use to give birth.
The first place we went was a maternity hospital, and in that place we were opportune to interview some of the nurses that are working in the maternity hospitals.
I feel this environment, they do more of traditional birth attendants. They don't come to the hospital. In a week, we record up to I think 17 sometimes, if there's no casualties. We cannot really say maybe it's decreased, because if they are coming to the hospital, we have records. But what I notice is they do more of local birth attendants. They only come here when they have complications that they cannot handle.
We have seen 7 within January. So number 1, somebody that have a postpartum hemorrhage. Postpartum hemorrhage is bleeding after delivery. Number 2, breech presentation. So the woman was in TBA, traditional birth attendance. So they did not handle it. They referred the woman to this place. Somebody that had hand prolapse. So they now referred the woman to us. They end up in CS. We did a cesarean section.
Second place we went to the market, where we interviewed women to know where they had their children. Some women had their children in the hospital, throughout in the hospital, while some at some point in childbearing they were not opportune, probably due to finance or emergency during giving birth, so they were not able to go to the hospital.
So I chose the hospital because their care is quality. They have quality care. They give the right medicines and the right prescriptions. That's why I chose the hospital to local childbirth.
I prefer giving birth in the hospital because they'll take care of you very, very well. The necessary things that is supposed to come out from your body, they are going to make sure it comes out very well in order not to have complication. But in the village, they are not well equipped and well educated. They might leave some certain things in your body which can cause complications.
I got married at the age of 17. So I have my first child at age of 18. So I gave birth at a health center hospital for my first child. The second one, the same hospital, was nice. So the last child, the third one, I gave birth at maternity hospital. So the reason why is that I couldn't go back to where I gave birth to my 2 children. So I located to the village. That is why I gave birth to the local one. It's not that I really liked it, it's just that I don't have a choice, because I prefer hospital more than local one because they are so caring.
What if some Bemorle Mabia Marufu or share me take over there? As for the time where they are for a man.
I gave birth to 6 children. My first child was in the local area. When I gave birth to my first child, I had complications. The TBA attendant told me not to give birth in a local place again because I had complications for the first one. Then later she told me that I should give birth to my second child at the local side again to know whether if I'm going to have the same complication, which I did for my second child, and there was no complication. The third child I gave birth to the local side, there wasn't any complication. Then the fourth one, I had complication. I have to go to the hospital. When I gave birth to the hospital, there was no complication. The fifth one, there was no complication. Then the sixth one, no complication. I gave birth to the fifth in the hospital, then the sixth one in the hospital. The reason why I gave birth to my first child in the hospital, in the local area, was during that time when I gave birth, I was so tender. There wasn't any maternal care or hospitals of that time. That was the reason why I gave birth in the local side. Like, our area wasn't developed as of then. That was why I gave birth in the local side.
I'm a civil servant and also doing this one as an attachment. I've been into service more than 15 years now. And I started this business, it's over 6 years now. I've delivered so many children, more than 30 or more than 50. And since I started it, I've never recorded any casualty, nor stillbirths. So God has been on my side. So all the child that I have delivered, the child was delivered successfully.
I prefer giving birth in the hospital because during my fourth childbirth, the complication I had, it nearly took my life. Then I went to the hospital. They treated me very well. Some certain things that was in my body, they flushed it away. So I prefer giving birth in the hospital than in the local area, because the local area, they are not well educated. They are just using the method of our forefathers.
Because in hospitals, we don't use herbal medicine. In my clinic here, like when any labor comes up, I don't use herbal medicine. There is no childbearing that is few that that will not come with complications. But if anyone that comes with complications, I handled it according to the level that I reach. Like if there is any bleeding, because complications that might arise is maybe placenta previa, that placenta comes present before the child comes up, PPH, or PPH maybe bleeding. So if it comes in that way, then I handled it in the sense that I have to control the bleeding first. Then if the placenta comes before the child, you have to shift the placenta before the child can come up. Sometimes the child will come without placenta together. It depends how God is being on your side. But if there is anyone that is above me, then I made the refer immediately to the higher hospital.
Sometimes, birth attendants, they are not trained, like well trained. They are just trained locally, not like educated, unlike somebody that goes to the hospital and you know how to manage some complications regarding any midwifery issue. So they have issues like prolonged delivery, or sometimes when the baby, let's say the baby presents with the shoulder instead of normal head coming out first, and they cannot really handle that. And sometimes maybe after delivering the baby, the woman bleeds profusely. There is no way they can handle that, so they now rush to the hospital. Initially, it was not their plan. They don't even plan to come to the hospital until things get bad before coming. So far, the birth cases I've seen here are few, except for when they have all those complications. That's when they come in.
The third place we went to, we are finding it difficult to convince an old woman to open us to us, because according to her, she said that they have already warned her not to do the method of TBA, so she was afraid. She said the only way she can open up to us is that if her two sons were around, which eventually they were not around because they are educated. So some of them there, they directed us to another place which we went to. The woman, she gave us a little information, but she refused to sit down for us to capture her due to what people there are telling her. Mama, ever.
That's why we live in a but you may major quick the bite and live with but you may go. Ah, but you want me and be with them. Halfway wolf with and Jake, but maybe Maka, no, to take a joke at me. That up and tab and ship better ship that take take a joke.
I want to advise them. They should create awareness, like for women, telling them importance of coming into the hospital for their antenatal even before childbirth. Because when you come to the hospital, they like check and see things that might happen, like complications. But when you go to a child attendant just to deliver, they are not doctors. They don't see things that could complicate the woman's delivery or could cause death. That's why it boils down to you coming for your antenatal checkups in the hospital. When you don't come, when labor starts, some people, instead of having like normal labor for like 2 days, 3 days, like for new mothers, sometimes it's not just a day. Their labor like prolongs a bit. But when it's too much, mostly there are complications. So they need to come to the hospital. If they don't come to the hospital, how would they know they have issues? I'm a Christian too. I don't want to criticize anybody. But I feel when you are sick, you should go to the hospital. When you have spiritual problems, you can go to the church. It's not too safe. It's not hygiene because, you know, they use some tools that are not really sterilized. Unlike the hospital, you can easily get diseases spread across, like HIV, all those things. They don't do like sterilize their things properly. In the hospital, when you come for delivery, each woman has her delivery pack differently, like each person. Not like they use the tools they even use, they sterilize things like that properly in order to avoid diseases. And also for transmission, you know, it's easy to transmit disease through childbirth from mother to child. But when you come to hospital, like civilization has made it more advanced. Medical stuff are more advanced now that things could be avoided. It's not like you'll be saying, if I had known. So they should learn to like at least come to the hospital for checkups, for their antenatal regularly, in order to reduce mortality rates.